I used to make about £1,500 a night.
1,500?
Yeah.
£1,500 a night?
A night, yeah. I'd sleep with about 9 men.
That's an obscene amount of money today.
It all went. It all went.
On what?
My mum's addiction. Well, basically, I was just sleeping with men constantly for money. And then I had a drawer that I used to put it in, the money, and I'd get up in the morning and it'd all be gone. I had a brilliant childhood up until my sister was born. My sister had got leukemia. I was 4, my brother was 6.5. So we lived in hospital for 2 years, in Bury. We lived there in Fairfield Hospital for 2 years, because like I said, she had leukemia and then she passed away. And my mum and dad were never the same again. My dad started cheating on my mum quite a lot. And my mum put up with it because my mum was, well, she's passed away now, but she was very old school. You know, you stick with your relationship and you try and make it work, basically. But then, obviously, once my sister died, things went wrong. My dad couldn't cope. She'd run his bath, iron his clothes, and then she'd drive him to the pub, pick him up from the pub. And then he left. And it was just me, my mum and my brother. And my mother decided that she was only young. She was like, sort of like, I'd probably say my age. She started having sex with Asian guys. And it got that bad they were queuing up outside in taxis.
Wow.
And this is while I was in the house.
Goodness.
I was 11, and they took a shine to me.
Wow.
A very big shine. Nothing happened, but you know, they'd come up to my room. Me and my brother used to barricade ourselves in the room, put it that way. My mum would disappear for days when we were like 12 and 13. I was about 12, my brother was 14. She'd disappear for days, off her head on speed, whatever she could get hold of. But she never left food in the house. So me and my brother used to have to smash up furniture, build a fire in the garden, like a bonfire.
Goodness me.
And we'd go to all the neighbours and ask them, have you got a tin of beans, got a bit of pasta? Because we had a dog as well.
Yeah.
We used to hide from the rent man.
Yeah.
If we said to the dog the rent man was here, the dog would bark, so the rent man would disappear, because he was an Asian guy, didn't like the dog. And my mum was really bad on the drink, you know, and just sleeping with anybody. I don't know if it was for gratification reasons or because obviously my dad had left her. I don't know how it worked, what was wrong with her. But it was just, we had all these Asian men in the house constantly. And I found out later that one of the Asian men had been done for child rape.
Wow.
Yeah, and then my granddad stepped in.
Wait, how did you find that out?
It was in the newspaper.
Goodness me.
Yeah,
Talk me through to that. What
I got
happened there?
stabbed.
Stabbed? By who?
Well, I got raped, and they stabbed me 5 times in the leg and cut my leg.
The person that sexually assaulted you
But
stabbed
there was
you?
5 of them.
There was 5 of them?
Yeah.
Goodness me.
And this is when at time, and I was on my way home. My girlfriend had left me, we'd had a row, and I was on my way home. I'm not going to say I had drugs because I'd had ketamine and coke.
Yeah.
And I got to, you know, you must have met addicts.
Yeah.
I got talking to them, you know, just chatting away and blah, 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 and then that happened and they left me.
So what's that, the police just weren't interested?
No, I didn't, my girlfriend at the time phoned the police, and they didn't even come out.
And?
So, wow. I didn't do nothing about it, I just left it then.
Left it as it is?
Yeah, I left it. I wanted to forget about it, shut my brain off, because I know how to do that with what's happened to me through my childhood.
Yeah.
I can switch off. And also sleeping with men when I'm not attracted to working as an escort, I can switch off. I could be somebody I wasn't. I could pretend to be somebody I wasn't. Yeah. You know, you must get a high when you get a wedge of money in your hand, and that's what I was feeling. Yeah. So the more wedge I got in my hand, the more I did.
Right.
I never worked the streets, and I never ever did anything without condoms. It wasn't like that. I was clean, if that makes sense, but not clean of drugs. I used to have, it's funny actually, a black man who used to come to see me. He was a very regular client. He was a coke dealer, and he used to come to Stoke to collect his money because he had little runners around here, and he booked me for the whole day, which would cost, well, it was £40 for half an hour, so you can imagine. and we'd sit there all day sniffing coke. Then we'd have sex. He became a friend, and then he'd go home. He'd drop me off at home, and then he'd go home, and that became sort of like once a month. I built up a really good clientele of men that didn't want like weird things, if you get what I mean. I used to have like old men that wanted me to hold the hand, you know, pretend to be the girlfriend, you know, girlfriend experience and stuff like that. I built up a really good clientele, but when I got to 32, I think I was, I got cancer, cervical cancer.
At 32?
Yeah, I got cervical cancer. I had to have what you call a colposcopy, which is they inject iodine. You know iodine? You've heard of iodine? It's like a brown liquid. Is his dad?
Yeah, is his
well,
dad.
I met him, like I say, I met him on Plenty of Fish, met him at Tesco.
Oh, well, you've told me that already.
Yeah, we had sex. Wasn't anything to write home about. He stayed the night, obviously. The following morning, he says to me, "Are you going to go and jump in the shower and we'll have a repeat?" I said, "No, sorry, I've got to go." So I said, because it was a hookup. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't want no more from him. And then obviously I found out I was pregnant, and I told him, and he come down. I did the pregnancy test in front of him. He wanted the proof. And then he gave his number to the midwife. I think he might have been wrong number. And when she were born, couldn't find him. But I know he lives in Stoke-on-Trent, but I don't want nothing from him. Do you know what I mean? She's my baby, she's my daughter. I've raised her. She's a little shit. She's proper sassy. But mixed race kids are. But she's started to question her colour at the moment. And she keeps using the word nicotine.
Nicotine?
No, nicotine.
Nicotine?
Yeah, it said nicotine. She'll say nicotine.
I get that, yeah.
Or she calls herself a nigger.
Why is she saying that?
I think she's heard it, because you know how many different mixed race people are. I don't mean mixed race, do you know how many different races of people are? I mean, there's a black guy across the road called Sunday, and he's obsessed with her. Absolutely adores her.
He's Nigerian, isn't he?
He's what?
Nigerian.
Do you know him?
No.
Is that a Nigerian name?
Yeah.
Sunday?
Yeah.
He is. How the fuck did you know that?
Because that's the kind of names they use.
Yeah, it's called Sunday.
Yeah,
but
sounds about right.
I had him knock at my door one day because Aria, well, you've heard her mouth, her and the mate was shouting to him, "Where's fucking Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday?" So, it's not,
yeah.
He will have nothing to do with Aria unless I'm involved. He can't separate me from. Does that make sense?
No, I'm confused.
Right. He fell so much in love with me, even though we only had sex twice, and he knew I was gay. Bi. What have you? I don't know what the term. I don't think I'm bi because I don't go out looking for a man. If I'm horny, I'll hook up, but I like women. And Ari's dad, he fell that much in love with me, he couldn't separate. Like, he couldn't be a dad to Aria without me. He wanted to be with me.
Yeah.
And I couldn't.
Yeah.
So, we didn't speak. But I used to get like 100, 150 text messages a day. What are you doing? Who are you with? You know, stuff like that. And he started becoming aggressive and not scary. He's a biker. He's in a gang. But he used to send me messages like, "I've got people watching your house."
Wow.
Yeah. Or he's...
That's scary.
No, not at all. I wasn't bothered.
Most women I know would be petrified.
Nah. I listen, from probably the age of 14, I've forgotten what it's like to be scared. Because I spent my whole life with, you know, nervous... Do you ever get that nervous stomach ache? I don't know if you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah.
I've had that so many times. Now, I don't get myself in them situations where I feel like that.
Right.
People could say to me, "I'm going to come round and stab you," and I'd be like, "Well, I'll unlock the door for you." Because if someone's going to stab you, they're not going to fucking tell you. They're just going to come and stab you.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Aria's dad is... He had an accident right, and he got £200,000.
£200,000.
Yeah.
Goodness me.
He smashed it. He did it on purpose. He rode his bike straight into a bus because he's a bit of a dick. I know Andy. I know Andy. I know Andy better than he knows himself. And first he lost his flat because he was drinking. He wasn't paying the rent. Blah blah blah. And I just had Isabel. Isabel was 5 months old. And I went over and we were friends because he was one of my closest friends in rehab. You know, that's why I trusted him to have sex with him. Because I thought, you know, we'd have sex, both get what we want, and we'd both walk away. And we're still friends with it. Because that's what I like.
Yeah.
You know, you have sex with someone and you get up and you go about your business.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't have to be aggressive. You don't have to fall out. There's no need for it. It's, everybody wants some kind of comfort,
Yeah.
you know, to lay with someone, you know, it doesn't have to be. I don't know if you think that way, but to me, sex is just sex. Unless it's a relationship, that's different. But, you know, if you're just hooking up...
You're able to disconnect emotionally from sex?
No, I'll connect with someone and have sex with them, and it's really nice. But once the sex is over, you know, you're back to who you were before.
Have you forgiven your mother?
No.
No. And do you think you ever will?
I've made peace with it. You know, I try to remember the good times. I only brought that picture out the other day.
Yeah.
I don't have nothing and my mum's around. Nothing. I don't think I could ever forgive her because I've got 2 daughters and I could never ever imagine. I won't let Aria out if she's not wearing leggings and a jumper and a bra and a top. Do you know what I mean? She won't wear skirts. Not a fucking chance. Not a prayer. On holiday, yeah, I don't mind. But I don't allow her to wear the little... You know, you see these girls at fucking 10 with the skinny tops on and it makes me bad. Yeah. It makes me feel... All I want to do is pick that child up and put a fucking jumper and a jacket over her. Walking around the streets with the... Do they call it a camel toe?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I have a friend called... and she wears these leggings and they're that tight. You can't help but look.
Yeah.
You must know yourself.
Of course.
And I find it really unnerving. Or she'll sit here and put her legs across me. Now she's only 21 and I'm like 45.
Right.
She says she's straight, so why the fuck are you sitting there on my sofa in a miniskirt with everything showing and your fucking legs across me?
Yeah.
I say to her, can you do me a favour and move over to the place? I don't like things like that.
Yeah.
That's hard. That was hard. Not hard as in, because they weren't... I don't know if you, how you think about it as a man to a woman, but when I had the miscarriages, I wasn't far along. You know, I was never any further than 12 weeks. So they're not babies really.
Not connected.
No.
Yeah.
So to me, they were just heavy periods. Do you get what I mean? I did cervical cancer I had. We were talking about that earlier on, about the iodine. They told me I've got what you call polycystic ovarian syndrome. Have you heard of it?
No. What on earth is that?
It's a struggle to conceive or struggle to carry.
Right.
And I think all the miscarriages were boys, because obviously I've got 2 healthy girls, and I don't think I can carry boys. Ovarian syndrome is it's a lot of cysts on your ovaries. Right. So when you're pregnant, obviously the baby can't grow, obviously because of all the cysts. I was told I'd never have a child, told I'd never be able to get pregnant, and I did manage. Obviously I managed quite a few times, but a lot of miscarriages, but very early on, not Not at like, you know, I didn't like give birth to like a baby at 24 weeks and lose it, you know, stuff. That I couldn't cope with.
I'm with you.
That, you know, I mean, Isabel was, I think they compensated with each other because Isabel was born at 32 weeks and Ari was born at 42 weeks.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, Ari didn't want to come into this world, but they discharged me with Isabel the same day. Yeah, and she was £3 too.
Oh, wow.
We came back here. My dad's wife's a midwife, I was saying. And she lost, when your baby loses up to 10% of the bodily weight, they end up back in hospital. And it turned out that she's lactose intolerant. She wasn't putting the weight on because of the milk. It just wasn't.
You not worried your daughter's gonna smoke if she sees you smoke this much?
What, weed or cigarettes?
Cigarettes.
She hates the smell of cigarettes. Because I smoke bud,
Yeah.
she's used to that smell.
Okay.
And if I have a cigarette, she'll say, "Mummy, open the window, please. I don't like the smell."
Yeah.
She doesn't like it. And I can't smoke upstairs. That's theirs, upstairs. I have nothing to do with it. They have their own rooms. Isabel's is above this, and Ari's is above mine. Aria has jobs. She has to look after the upstairs. That's her jobs. I pay her £25 a week.
Oh.
Well, that's the money off my dad,
Yeah.
but I make her do jobs for it.
Of course, just earn it.
Isabella, she just wants to get into everything. She wants to help you with anything and everything.
You are mentally. How are you coping?
I'm on sertraline, which is an antidepressant,
Okay.
and I'm on propanol, which is for anxiety. I don't take it all the time. It depends on my mood. I'll be honest with you, it depends on the girls, because you know what it's like living with women. You're a man, you've got 2 girls, hormones, you know, 2 different children.
Yeah.
One punches the other.
Yeah.
And I have to separate them.
Of course.
You know, they can't sit in the same rooms. You know, Isabella will go in my bed. She loves my bed. She gets in my bed, she gets all cosy, and she'll stay there for hours, and then Ari will come in and annoy her. Or if I go in to check on my phone, it's very rare I have my phone. You might as well just say I don't have a fucking phone. And I'll go in and I'll check my phone, or she'll fall asleep in my bed, and I usually leave her. I don't like moving her. I bet you wouldn't if your daughter fell asleep. No. She falls asleep in my bed, and because I've got quite pretty.
In terms of your dating life, are you gonna date a woman next, or?
I'd like a relationship with a woman, but it's finding the right one, because I've got children, and you've met my kids. They give love, and when they give it all. They don't hold back. And I think when I had when I had Aria, like I say, Isabel wasn't planned. When I had Aria, I planned to raise her on my own. That was the plan. The dads are not on the birth certificate, none of them.
So who did you put on the birth? You have to put someone.
Me.
On the birth certificate, they asked for a father.
I'm not involved.
Okay. That's a choice, is it?
That was my choice. But they weren't there.
Yeah.
Isabel's dad, never seen him. Aria's dad didn't turn up.
Wow.
So it was his fault. You know, the way I wanted it was, because I worked full time, I trained as a chef while I had Aria in my arms.
Yeah.
You know, I got her in one arm and I'm doing my exams with the other.
Wow.
So, and he wasn't there for none of it. You know, he didn't say to me,
Yeah.
I'll look after her.
Yeah. I get that.
And then we argued, because obviously he couldn't separate me from... He wanted me, basically, to give up liking women, be with him, and raise Aria together. And I didn't want that. I said to him, we can raise her as friends, which would be better. Because there's no arguments, there's no disagreements, we're friends. You're a dad, I'm a mum, it's that simple.
Yeah.
But he couldn't separate his love for me to be a dad to her. But she doesn't like him. Do you know what he did? Now look, you've seen how big she is. I don't mean fat when I say that. He turned up 2 years, when she was 9. She still looked the same at 9. He turned up dressed as Santa on a Harley Davidson with music on, Santa music on, and turned up here outside the house. She was so embarrassed. So embarrassed. She was with her best mate.
Yeah.
She says, I don't want to see him again, Mum. Never again.
Oh, wow.
So that's her choice.
Yeah.
I let her make decisions because she's got a brain.
Yeah.
As kids, parents don't let you make your own decisions.
Yeah.
And I think it's wrong. Myself personally.
Well, that's a huge decision to make for a child.
But she's not a normal 11-year-old. She's got the head of a 20-year-old. She saw her dad for what he was.
Yeah.
He never paid anything. I tell you what put the icing on. Aria, she would never go anywhere with him.
Yeah.
She was not scared of him, but she didn't know him. So she wouldn't get in a she wouldn't even sit in the car. I had to be there. And he took her to McDonald's one day. Isabel was about 3. No, she'd been at 3 or 4. And he only bought Aria a McDonald's. And when he walked in the house, in front of me and Isabel, he turned around to Aria and said, put your McDonald's in the kitchen until Izzy goes to bed. So Ari went straight in the kitchen, got a McDonald's, split it on 2 plates, and sat there on the floor with Izzy.
Yeah.
And shared a McDonald's. And he didn't like that.
Yeah.
He didn't like the fact that she doesn't need him. She's never needed him. I could leave her like I say, I had a bad tooth last weekend and she looked after Isabella all weekend for me. I was on diazes because I couldn't sleep. My friend gave me a strip of diazepam, only the 5mg ones, and I had my painkillers. Obviously, I was only in there, so if anything had happened, I was still in the house. But she'd come in, she said, Mum, what can I make easy for a tea? My daughter's obsessed with noodles. Fucking Maggie chicken noodles. That's all she eats. So Ari went to the shop, got him, made her chops. She likes chops and noodles, but she's a very strange child. And Ari made them for her. And she actually looked after her for the weekend.
Oh, that's sweet.
And that was really good. And I love it when it's like that. But then Izzy gets this, I think Izzy's got ADHD, myself personally. All of a sudden, 1 minute she's fine, then she's coming in here punching her in the face. After she'd spent the whole weekend looking after her. Yeah. So,
Yeah. Oh,
let's go out all the time.
How many cigarettes do you have a day?
I don't smoke cigarettes. Told you. I'm only smoking cigarettes because you're here.
I'm here,
yeah, I wouldn't roll a joint while someone else is in my house.
Fair enough.
I haven't got a hair in my mouth, I told you.
That never gets old.
It won't. Now you know it.
No, I know it.
I am a recovering addict. I'm always going to be an alcoholic or a druggie. But I'm a recovering, but I'll always still be classed as a recovering addict. And I'm fine with that. I don't think if I'd have been through half the stuff I had, I don't think I would have been able to raise the girls the way I have done.
Yeah. If you could go back in time, what would you do different?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing at all.
Because you learn from your mistakes, don't you?